I'm about to raise anchor and do a better job than I did last time and get down to the safer anchorage for this storm, because this looks worse. If their projections are right, it won't be that bad, but I'm not going to take that risk. If you recall last time, I put out my 55-pound Rockna storm anchor. And with all the wind, it was very well buried. It took several attempts to get the anchor off the bottom. Clearly it's going to take a couple tries to get the anchor free because it's buried. Passing by Riverside Marina, you can see the boats anchored outside of it. This is not a safe place to be for this storm, as we're looking at gusts from the south at 50 knots. I got to the North Fort Pierce Causeway anchorage just in time. The thunderclouds were already rolling in and the sky was darkening to the west and the south. The rest of the night was a bumpy mess, with tornado warning after tornado warning, and wind gusts at 65 knots. And miles per hour, that's just about at a cat 1. All my friends in the anchorage and I were lucky. None of us dragged with any serious problems. Others in the Fort Pierce area were not so fortunate. There's no substitution for maintenance, planning, and being on the boat. All of these boats dragged between half a mile and a mile each.
You looking for that sunk one? Okay.
Having your boat drag and sink is the worst case scenario for a boat owner. However, even far worse than that is leaving it for days to sink in the middle of the channel. That's where this boat's sitting now. It won't be long until this boat is salvaged from the bottom and the owner is fined and billed for the removal. So during Hurricane Milton, I lost a solar panel on the coach top right up here. And as it turns out, water was getting under the paint and wrecking all the glass underneath. So I'm gonna have to scrape all this stuff off, sort it out, reseal it up, and weatherproof it again before I even consider putting another panel back on. Pretty sure the panel's dead. I haven't checked the voltage, but I'm just running off these back here for the minute. So here I go. This morning before I head into work at the yard on another boat, I'm going to seal up the coach top and get it ready for some paint and then the new solar panel. That'll do for the first pass. So last week it was a hurricane, this week it is a cold front. The temperatures have dropped to the mid to high 70s and it's blowing at like 21 knots right now. Last night it was blowing in the 30s. It made sleeping a little bit rough, but after enough coffee, I'm functional. Not sponsored and not an endorsement. I got this information off of Will Prowse's website. He said it was pretty good, so that's why I'm going to give it a shot. It was also relatively inexpensive. Victron sells their low-end stuff for about $100. This was maybe $30, $25. Anyway, I'm going to crawl back into the Jeffries tube. That's what I call the battery compartment. And install this thing.
Lose the bolt. That would be bad. I'm going someone's behind. Back on that wall like that. Cool. All right. Snug it up. Good, good, good. Cool. As far as you can get it in. There we go. All right, that'll work. So, loosen this up. Loosen this up. Get back in here further. That and this. Right. So. I don't even know if that's big enough to go on this. Might be a problem. That one certainly is. What I'm doing here is drilling out this hole on the end of the terminal on the cable that goes to the charge controller and the rest of the system, because the lug is just a little too large.
Welcome to my head, or the inside of my head, or at any rate, this is as close as I can get to the battery compartment without crawling all the way back in there to show you the battery monitor that I installed yesterday. It's up, it's working. I need to clear the batteries all the way to dead so that I can set this and properly program it, but it's all functioning. So time will tell how useful this is. I'll put a link in the description below to Will Prowse's website and YouTube channel. There's a ton of information out there about solar panel and mobile power systems. If you're into that or looking to know more, I'd advise you to go there. With that, thank you for tuning into this transmission. I'll catch you next time.